Hi, guys. Welcome back to another podcast episode. I feel like it's been absolutely ages since I've done one of these. I hope everybody's doing well. Honestly, I just kind of wanted to record a podcast. There's been a lot that's happened. Nothing like too severe or too bad, but it's just, when your life gets really chaotic. Usually it happens for students when it comes to the end of term because all these deadlines are due in around the same time. So I've been really busy trying to do all this uni stuff and finish everything on time. I literally, on the day I'm recording this at 2 p.m., I've got an e-portfolio that is due in, and I was up till 4 a.m. Finishing it. Like, I just was really struggling to think of things to write, but I've done it, and I don't know, I still feel stressed because I've got two more assignments. I've actually got one assignment due in on the 5th of May, which I need to start, and I've got an exam on the 12th of May to the 18th of May. So I've got a lot going on, but I don't know, I just feel like when you're a student, there's never a time where you're not stressed. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. I know that we're still in a pandemic, but things have become a little bit more open since I think I last recorded a podcast episode. As of right now, people are allowed to go out, all businesses are now open and running as usual. And yeah, people are back to work and school. I'm not, because by the time everything was open, I was already on summer break. So I've been on summer break from March. I think it was March or was it April? No, I think it was March. I've been on summer break since March, but I've just had deadlines that I've had to, meet and whatever with assignments and exams and whatever. But other than that, it's going okay. Still a little bit frustrating that I'm studying from home. Um, in today's podcast, I kind of just wanted to talk about being on your own, being independent. Um, I just think it's really important, and I know that this pandemic has made a lot of people feel like they're on their own or become independent because they're not allowed to go out, they can't socialize, they have to do everything on their own. Honestly, if this pandemic has done anything for me, it's made me much, much more antisocial. I just get tired of talking to people. I don't even know what else I can tell you. I just get tired of socializing with people, and I just don't like it. And I never liked it that much before, but I still will do it because it's just something to do. Um, Most of my friends, I haven't spoken to them in so long. I know that my uni friends, I haven't really spoken to them. Um, Obviously, communication goes both ways, but I have become really bad at communicating with people. I haven't messaged anyone from my uni in ages. That is my friends. We have this uni group chat that I'm in, and we talk on there quite a bit about assignments and whatever. But otherwise, my friends itself, like I haven't spoken to them, and I don't know if they listen to my podcast, but if they are, then I hope you're doing all right. Um, yeah. Being on your own really does change you, and it changes your mindset. When I was in sixth form and secondary school, I couldn't even go to the toilet on my own. I would always have to say to Anna, "Oh, I'm going to the toilet. Can you come with me?" And she would literally come with me to the toilet. Like I don't know what else to tell you. I wasn't independent at all. And then I started to become independent when I transferred over to college, and that's kind of where everything I don't know, 2018 was kind of like a yes, no, good, bad kind of year. It was really bad. A lot of bad things happened to me. But if I'm looking at the positive side, I became extremely independent and more like comfortable with my own company. Because I would never like going out before, but I would go out and meet my friends. I'd go to their houses. I only go to Rada's house. And that's it. And if you know, if you're listening, then hi. Um, yeah, I miss you, man. Me and Rada met up before Ramadan started, and then I was like, look, during Ramadan, I'm not really gonna go out that much. Um, so the next time I'll probably see you is after Ramadan is over, and that will be in May. By the way, as I'm recording this, it is the 27th of April. So I don't know when this will be posted. When I did see Rada before Ramadan, we did start to record a podcast episode, and then did my voice just vibrate? That was so weird. Um, yeah, so before Ramadan, I went over to Rada's house and we started to record. Oh my God, I cannot speak today. We started to record a podcast episode, and and then I had to go home because it was like late at night. Literally, honestly, it was a nice day. I absolutely love Rada. She's literally the bestest friend I think I've ever had in my entire life. And we just kind of get each other, you know? There's nothing better than meeting someone and just clicking instantly. Like me and Rod are both, we don't like drama. We don't like loudness. I absolutely hate loud people, especially at night. I don't like loud people. Rada doesn't like loud people. We both don't like leaving our houses. Um, yeah, there's just nothing better to it. We're both very relaxed, mellow people, and there's honestly, we're like twins sometimes. Going back to being on your own though, yeah, it can get lonely sometimes at the beginning. I remember when I transferred from sixth form to college, I felt really lonely because, first of all, I had never been a new girl in my life. So, for that in itself was pretty like scary for me. And I didn't know anyone. Imagine not being a new child or new student anywhere. It's pretty daunting. Like, I was scared, but I was excited to be leaving the sixth form. So, yeah, I was on my own. Yeah, I had no friends for quite a while, you know? And I was sad at the beginning because whenever something good would happen, I'd want to tell Anna and the other girl that we were friends with at the time. I'd want to tell them, but we weren't friends, so I couldn't say anything. But after a while, I got used to being on my own, and I figured out that actually being on your own isn't a bad thing. I didn't have to depend on anyone for anything. And there was nothing better than the feeling of not needing anyone for anything. Yeah, there were times where I wished that we were still friends. At that moment, the way like we stopped being friends, it wasn't nice. So I wasn't even willing to contact anyone, and they weren't going to contact me. That's for sure. Um, And yeah, I would have moments where I felt bad and down and sad and whatever, and I'd miss them. But at the same time, I would remember why we weren't friends, and I'd be like, you know what, I'm better off on my own. And it benefited me. And now me and Anna are friends again, but I'm not the same girl I was when we fell out. I'm not the same girl I was when me and Anna were friends in secondary school. I've completely grown as a person, and that 1 year where we weren't friends changed me. I wasn't independent, I was very dependent. I couldn't go anywhere on my own. I felt really anxious and scared to walk around my sixth form building. I felt anxious to walk into my class late, even though the people in that class I've been in school with, some of them since primary school. So the fact that I became independent was a really big step for me. I just think that sometimes in life, God will cut you off from everyone and He will isolate you so that you can pick up these skills which you never knew you needed. I didn't realize how dependent I was until I was on my own. I didn't realize that I couldn't go anywhere. I'd want to go shopping. I'd always ask my friends, and I wouldn't go shopping if they couldn't come. That was it. That was literally how I was. And then I had no friends, and I was like, do you know what? No one's gonna no one's gonna come. I could ask, but when none of us are friends, so I'm not gonna ask someone I'm not friends with. You know, I'm just gonna go on my own and come back quickly. And then I'd go on my own and I'd have such a good time. I'd have a good time. I'd put in my earphones or my AirPods or whatever I'd be taking with me, and I'd listen to music. And then I would begin to listen to podcasts. And when I started listening to podcasts, it changed my life even more, because I'm like, wow, podcasts are so much better to listen to when you're walking than music. Because with music, it almost takes you out of this world and puts you into like this, I don't know, this world where you're just not paying attention to reality. But when you're listening to a podcast, it's just so much more enjoyable to walk and just listen to what someone's talking about. And I know some people don't like that, some people prefer music, and that's fine. Sometimes I don't like listening to music either. There's nothing wrong with listening to music when you go out. But if you want to change, literally just listen to a podcast. And you do feel less alone. I listened to Emma Chamberlain's podcast. So good. Literally one of the best podcasts I think I've ever heard in my life. Really entertaining. And she's doing the same as me. We're just talking into a microphone and uploading it. There's nothing more to it. So with that being said, if you don't want to feel alone, but you don't want to be around anyone and you want to spend time on your own, put on a podcast. Literally the best. Watch YouTube videos. Literally do anything where people are talking, because they're not there. You know the best thing about a podcast? If you get tired of the person talking, you could just pause it. Literally. Pause it, change it, do whatever. You can't do that in real life. Imagine talking to someone in real life and then they're like just going on and on about something, and then you just go pause, and then you just turn around and walk away. You can't do that to someone because that's rude. But with a podcast, you can spend time on your own, and at any time you could just pause it and listen to music, or pause it and do whatever else you want to do. Being alone has taught me many things about myself. One, I'm not worrying about drama the whole time. You know? Two, I'm not worried that somebody's talking about me behind. I mean, everyone's going to talk about you whether they know you or not. People are going to talk about you behind your back. So that's going to happen. The third thing I learned was that there's more to your life than friends and socializing. I was at such a peace with myself and my mind. Like, I was sleeping so much better when I didn't have any friends. First of all, my phone battery was lasting a lot longer because I wasn't on FaceTime all the time. But although I missed talking to my friends, I did enjoy my own company. And once you taste your own company, once you get that taste of enjoyment of being on your own, you will never be the same again. I'm not worried about people judging me. I'm not worried about people talking about me. I'm not worried about drama. You know, people talking about you is going to follow you anyway, wherever you go for all your life. People are always going to talk. I didn't care about what was going on. I mean, obviously I heard rumors about myself which were being spread, but other than that, that was like my only thing. That was it. Otherwise, I was perfectly fine on my own. And being independent is so important, and I think that anyone who's listening to this should try spending at least a day on your own. Don't communicate with anyone unless it's like your family and they're asking you how you are, and then you could just be like, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. You know, turn your phone off. Go out for a walk. Take yourself shopping. Put in your earphones, put on your headphones, put on a podcast, listen to music, do whatever. Spend time on your own. Literally, it is nice. My problem with being independent now and not going out is that it's always been part of my life. I rarely left my house anyway before the pandemic. But being at home for like a year and a half, it's gotten a lot worse. I don't want to leave my house. And that's where being independent is dangerous, because I would rather stay home for months on end without leaving than go out to the corner shop for 5 minutes and bring back some milk or bread. And that's where there's a problem, because now I'm in such a comfort spot where I don't want to leave, that it's actually really bad and it's dangerous. But other than that, being on your own is pretty good. Like, I'd recommend it to anyone. I just think it's a lot more enjoyable. You can eat what you want without sharing your food. You can drink what you want without sharing your drink. You can watch what you want to watch without someone saying, "Oh, can you please turn that off? I want to watch what I want to watch." Like, you don't have any of that. You're on your own. Enjoy it. And spend time with your family and your loved ones, obviously. Don't completely cut them off. Um, Being independent is so important for your own sanity, because when you're constantly depending on someone, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So I would recommend that you should try being independent. It doesn't matter how hard it is. And the other thing, don't always be available for everyone. And I know that once this pandemic is over and we're kind of back to a somewhat normal life, people are going to go crazy hanging out with each other, and that's fine. But don't neglect yourself. Remember that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to not want to hang out with people, and it's okay to not want to talk to people. That's perfectly fine. And don't neglect your mental health for anyone. Other than that, like, I've been pretty good. It's Ramadan. I have been fasting. It's just crazy. Honestly, this Ramadan is definitely different to last Ramadan. But I mean, Ramadan is Ramadan, you know. I'll always love it. I don't think I've had a bad Ramadan. Um, I just want to kind of clear up some misconceptions about Ramadan, actually, to be honest, because I know that so many non-Muslims always assume these things. And sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, are you being serious? But I guess to someone who doesn't know about the religion, they're going to think these things, right? So here are just a couple of misconceptions that I know people have because I've had them say it and I've been asked. So the first one is that we starve ourselves. That's not correct. Um, Fasting is from sunrise to sunset. This means that from, say, like today, 4 a.m. was sunrise, sunset is at, say, 8:20 p.m. So from 4 a.m. to 8:20 p.m. we will not eat or drink anything, including water. Um, People are always surprised when I say not water, but I don't know. So from 4 a.m. to 8:20 p.m., no eating, no drinking whatsoever. People think that it's really hard, but it's not. In fact, fasting shows you how much you actually don't need to eat in a day. There are some things that happen and people just, I mean, I'm one of them, especially during pandemic times. I just can't stop eating. But now you realize that you're not actually hungry, you're just bored. Or you think that you're hungry, but you're not, and you just want to eat for the hell of it. So that's one misconception. We absolutely do not starve, we do eat. And then literally after sunset, you can eat and drink as much as you want, whatever you want, as long as it's halal, obviously, until sunrise. And the times of sunrise and sunset do change. So by the time we're near the end of Ramadan, sunrise will be around 3 o'clock, in that hour, in the 3 o'clock hour. And we will be breaking our fast at around 8:45 p.m. So, or 9:45. 8:45, sorry. So, you know, there's that, you know, we don't starve ourselves. That would be really stupid, especially, like, why would we starve ourselves for 30 days straight? That doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, now you know. The second misconception is that, oh my God, what was it? It's just gone from my head. Starving ourselves. The reasoning for doing fasts in Ramadan. Okay, so Ramadan is the holiest month, okay, for Muslims in the Islamic calendar. And honestly, it is a month that I think pretty much all Muslims look forward to. in the year. Like, literally, Ramadan is the best because it's a time where you do things together as a family. You pray together, you have breakfast together, you then break your fast together. It's just so nice. And I must add that the banter that you have with your siblings, or even your family, but mostly siblings, is unmatched. It's literally the best type of banter when you're waiting for your dinner, when you're waiting for futur, when you're waiting to break your fast. It's the best. Literally, banter with your siblings before breaking your fast is unmatched. There will never be a feeling better than that. Oh, I know. Misconception is that you have to fast. Now, fasting is a must. However, you can be exempt from fasting, but you have to do other things, right? So, Ramadan is all about, you don't eat and you don't drink, you're fasting. The feeling of hunger reminds you, or supposed to remind you, of the people that can't just walk to their fridge and open and have food. It's about remembering people who don't have access to food, don't have access to water or clean water. It's about the people who don't have. It's a time where you reflect on yourself and you appreciate what you have. We take it for granted that we can go home, open our fridge, and have fresh food in there. Or cook ourselves a fresh meal, a fresh hot meal, something that many people around the world can't have. It's a time where we remember that we shouldn't be we shouldn't be wasting food, because food is so sacred. Why are you wasting? Someone else can have the food you're about to waste. People aren't as fortunate as us, and we have to realize that, and we appreciate it more when we don't eat and drink anything. Because I have been feeling hungry when I've been fasting. But I've also been thinking, you know what? At least I know that I'm going to be breaking my fast with something. At least I know I'm going to be having a hot meal after this long day of fasting. There are people in the world that feel this sense of hunger and can't do anything about it because they don't have access to food or water, or they can't afford it. So it makes us really think about this. The other thing you have to do in Ramadan is it builds your relationship with God. It brings you closer to Him. It makes you want to change. It's a time when you change your bad habits. You don't swear, you don't do drugs, you don't drink alcohol, you don't have bad thoughts about people. You have to stay calm, you have to stay positive minded. No bad thoughts, no negative thoughts, no bad thoughts about people, no wishing bad upon anyone. You have to have clean thoughts. And that in itself is good for your mental health. Because where people are always talking down about themselves or talking bad about other people, they can't do that during Ramadan. Because it's a time where you have to make sure that your mood, your thoughts, everything about you is clean and positive. Another thing is that you read the Quran, obviously, but you read it for God and for yourself. You understand what it's saying. You do there's so much that you do. You have to, you give money to charity. That's called zakat. You give money to charity. And I'm going to move on now to people who are exempt. If you're exempt, this means that you do not have to fast. This could be if a woman is menstruating. This could be if she is pregnant. This could be if you have to take medication. If you have to take medication twice a day, there isn't really a problem because you can take it once before you start your fast and once after you break your fast. So that's no problem. But if you have to take medication throughout the day, then you don't have to fast. If you are traveling, you don't need to fast. If you are diabetic, you don't need to fast. If you are sick, so say you have COVID, you don't need to fast. There are reasons for why, it's not, Islam is so, it's simple. it's so simple, and people they mix their culture with it, and that's why so many people think that it's strict. It's not strict, it's simple, and it makes sense. You know, don't do anything that harms you. Don't do drugs, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do any of that stuff. Don't change your body, because the body is but oh my god, borrowed. It's borrowed. So it's very simple, but a lot of people tend to mix up their culture with their religion. You know, these people who are exempt from fasting can do other things, other forms of charity. So, for example, if you're diabetic and you can't fast, feed people who are fasting. So, say my family, we all fast, right? I might have a Muslim friend who's diabetic. So, what she will do is she will send me food that I can break my fast with, me and my family. And she might send like rice and chicken or whatever for dinner. That's her form of charity for feeding the people who are fasting. Honestly, it makes a lot more sense in Arabic, but I know that this podcast is in English. So that's why it might not make sense to you. But in Arabic, it's like translated, it's the the non-fasting feeds the fasting. So yeah, they also give money to charity as well. There are like little things that you can do to not necessarily make up for the fasting, because they can't, but just do things, you know, I guess, to take part in Ramadan without actually doing the fasting part. The other misconception, no, actually, it's not really much of a misconception, but people don't really know this, but non-Muslims don't really know this, that is, people can make up their fast. So I did miss the first 4 days of Ramadan, and I've missed a day. I've missed about 6 days in total, right? I missed the first four in like at the beginning of Ramadan, and then two other um I've missed 2 other days for personal reasons that I don't actually remember what they were for. So I can make that up in the winter. And that's what I did literally like before Ramadan. I missed 7 days last year for obvious reasons. And what I did is I waited for winter or for Easter, and I fasted in that time, and you just kind of make it up. So you can make it up, you know. If you feel like for medical reasons, for your own health, you can't fast because of the long hours, you can make it up. And you can make it up in the winter because the hours are a lot shorter. In winter, sunrise is around 6 o'clock, and then you break your fast at 4 p.m. That's not much at all. So, yeah, that's just some things about Ramadan for you. Anyway, I don't really know what else to say. I've done a lot of talking because that's what a podcast is. I have got a YouTube channel which I have been trying to post on every week. I hope you guys have an incredible day, and thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys later. Bye.